You lie awake beside a dying fire, not because you want to, because the fire is your wall. Beyond the orange glow is darkness so complete that you cannot tell where the ground ends and the night begins. A child is asleep beside you. Someone shifts in the shadows. Somewhere beyond the circle of light, something moves. You hear a branch crack, then silence. Most people think ancient humans slept the same way you do. Tired, safe, unconscious. But for most of your species' history, sleep was one of the most dangerous things you could do. Every night you became helpless. You couldn't run. You couldn't fight. You couldn't see. And the world outside the fire was full of animals built specifically to kill creatures like you. So how did your ancestors sleep without being eaten? The answer is stranger than most people realize. Because for millions of years, they didn't solve the problem of predators. They solved the problem of being alone. To understand why, you have to start with what the night actually looked like. You are standing in Africa 200,000 years ago. There are no cities, no roads, no windows glowing in the distance, no porch lights, no headlights, no moon half the time. When clouds cover the sky, the darkness becomes almost physical. Modern researchers who have spent nights in truly wild environments often describe the experience the same way. The darkness feels alive. Your eyes search for shapes that aren't there. Your brain starts creating threats from nothing. A bush becomes an animal. A shadow becomes a face. A sound becomes something stalking you. And your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Because for your ancestors, many of those shadows actually were predators. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, massive snakes. For millions of years, humans weren't hunters. Humans were prey. In South Africa, researchers discovered the skull of a child belonging to an early human ancestor. The eye sockets contained puncture marks. The spacing matched the canine teeth of a leopard. Not an accident, not a fight, a meal. That child was eaten, and that child was not unique. For much of human history, predators viewed your ancestors the same way they viewed antelope, monkeys, or any other source of meat. You were on the menu, which creates a problem. A lion can sleep safely because it sits at the top of the food chain. You couldn't. Every night your ancestors had to disappear. At first, they used the same strategy many primates still use today. Trees. Before humans controlled fire, trees were some of the safest places available. Leopards could climb, snakes could climb, but many predators couldn't. Sleeping high above the ground increased the odds of surviving until morning. Some researchers believe early human ancestors may have built primitive sleeping platforms in branches, similar to nests constructed by chimpanzees. If that sounds primitive, remember something. You are not trying to sleep comfortably. You are trying to wake up alive. Comfort comes later. Survival comes first. But trees only worked for so long. As your ancestors evolved, something changed. Bodies grew larger, groups became larger, brains became larger, and eventually many humans began spending more time on the ground. That should have made them easier to kill. Instead, the opposite happened, because around 1 million years ago, your ancestors acquired the most important survival technology in human history: fire. Most people think fire changed cooking. It did. Most people think fire changed intelligence. It did. But before any of that, fire changed the night. Imagine seeing a campfire for the first time as a predator. Every animal on Earth understands fire. Not intellectually, instinctively. Fire crackles, moves, consumes, spreads. Even modern lions hesitate around it. The moment flames appeared in human camps, something extraordinary happened. For the first time in evolutionary history, weak primates created a zone predators didn't want to enter. A small circle of safety appeared inside a continent full of danger. And suddenly the night belonged to humans too. Archaeologists studying ancient fire sites have found evidence suggesting humans weren't simply using fire occasionally. They were maintaining it, protecting it, carrying it. Because losing fire wasn't just inconvenient, it was terrifying. Without it, darkness returned. And darkness meant vulnerability. Some anthropologists believe ancient humans may have treated fire almost like a living member of the group. Someone always watched it. Someone always fed it. Someone always protected it, because everyone knew what waited outside its glow. But here's what gets interesting. Fire alone wasn't enough. A sleeping human is still vulnerable, even with flames nearby. Someone had to stay awake, and that's where human sleep becomes different from almost every other animal on Earth. You think of sleep as something individual, you go to bed. You sleep. You wake up. Your ancestors rarely slept that way. They slept as a group, Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherers discovered something unusual. Among groups like the Hadza in Tanzania, there is almost never a moment when everyone is asleep at the same time. Some people fall asleep early. Others stay awake longer. Older adults often wake repeatedly during the night. Teenagers stay awake later. Children wake unpredictably. The result is accidental security. At almost every moment, somebody is awake. Somebody hears movement. Somebody notices danger. Somebody can add wood to the fire. For years, scientists assumed fragmented sleep was a problem. Then they realized it may have been one of humanity's greatest advantages. A sleeping camp was never truly asleep. It remained alert, like a living organism whose eyes never completely closed. Your body still carries traces of this ancient arrangement. Think about how often you wake during the night. For many people, uninterrupted sleep feels natural, but historically it may not have been. In some traditional societies, waking briefly during darkness is completely normal. Your nervous system was shaped in a world where total unconsciousness could be fatal. And it gets stranger. The thing protecting your ancestors wasn't merely fire. It wasn't merely vigilance. It was conversation. The day doesn't end after sunset. It begins again. The fire becomes a gathering place. Stories appear, jokes appear, gossip appears, memories appear, plans appear, children listen, adults talk. Knowledge moves from one generation into the next. Some anthropologists have suggested that the campfire may have helped create human culture itself. Because darkness trapped people together, and when people sit together long enough, they start telling stories. Stories become lessons. Lessons become traditions. Traditions become culture. The very thing that protected your ancestors from predators may also have helped create language, mythology, and civilization. A fire wasn't just warmth, it was information. And information kept people alive, because predators weren't the only threat lurking in darkness. There was another enemy, one far older, one still living inside your head: fear itself. You know the feeling. You hear an unexpected sound at night. Immediately your heart speeds up. Your muscles tense. Your attention sharpens. The reaction feels irrational, but it isn't. For your ancestors, ignoring strange sounds could be fatal. Evolution rewards false alarms. If the wind sounds like a predator and you investigate, you lose a little energy. If a predator sounds like the wind and you ignore it, you die. Over thousands of generations, your brain learned a simple rule. Assume danger first, verify later. That ancient rule still shapes your life. Even though the predators are gone, you lock doors, you check shadows, you dislike unfamiliar noises at 3 a.m. Your nervous system is solving problems from a world that no longer exists. And yet, that world built you. But predators were only one reason sleep was dangerous, because sometimes the threat wasn't outside the camp. Sometimes it was inside your own head.